One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Wow. Good morning, you legends. It is a Topless Taco Tuesday. Good morning to everyone. Shout out to all you legends, man. All right, so we've got a crazy morning, as you guys know. A lot of shit happened over the weekend, and then I didn't report yesterday because I was on the campaign trail, man. We actually signed with our party yesterday. It was a big W for JR Bowling and the team. Yes, sir. And so anyways, today we're going to be catching up a little bit. We're really only going to backtrack about a day, maybe a day and a half in one story, but nonetheless, we have a chronological timeline like we always do. We're going to be talking about a few things, but let me first go ahead and tell you guys what the title is. Venezuela, Maduro, latest, as well as Trump remarks at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is, by the way, 10 or would be 9 a.m. my time. So he's already live right now speaking. And so we're gonna tune into that here in a few, but we have a chronological timeline here. We're actually gonna save Trump for the very, very end, actually. Anyways, but what we're gonna be talking about aside from that is there's a little bit of Russia-Ukraine talks in Europe as well. Zelensky is gonna be meeting up with a whole bunch of EU leaders. So we're going to be talking about that this morning, and that will be our first story. Then we're going to go into some breaking news that happened yesterday, or the day, like a day and a half ago, I guess. Tim Walz will not seek re-election for Minnesota governor, and I think that you guys already have heard of that. And even the lawmakers, the GOP lawmakers in particular, up there in Minnesota, are saying this is not good enough. He needs to immediately resign. Like, get the fuck out now. Very interesting to watch happen, though. 20 hours ago, Maduro pleads not guilty to drug and machine gun charges, by the way. That is what he's held up there in New York right now. He had his arraignment yesterday, and that's where he just goes, I'm guilty or not guilty. And he pleaded not guilty, and of course, his court date will be very soon, I'd imagine. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but of course, we're going to be following it. Then we have Trump rips Tim Walz after re-election announcement. Quote, destroyed Minnesota. Yeah. Then we have U.S. recommends fewer shots in childhood vaccine schedule overhaul as well, which is, of course, going to be a hot topic right there. We have lawmaker reaction after, quote, gang of 8 briefed on Venezuela operation. Now, I'm not really sure what the gang of 8, quote unquote, is. We're going to find that out together, I'm assuming. And then we have Maduro courtroom sketches from the first appearance amid Venezuela capture. I always think those sketches are kind of interesting, and I actually put it on the thumbnail today of Maduro and his sketches in court. But I always find those sketches kind of amusing almost. So we're going to check out what that looked like. And then we have House GOP Representative Doug I don't know how to say this person's last name, to be honest. LaMalfa. Doug LaMalfa. Okay, there we go. Got it. Is dead at 65, unfortunately. And then we're going to be hearing Trump at the end here talking about whatever he is this morning. I really haven't tuned into what Trump is speaking about exactly this morning, but I do know it has something to do with GOP lawmakers of some sort. So we're going to find all that out together. But first, let's go ahead and thank all of you guys for coming in and make sure we do our call to actions. We've got, first of all, we got Monobomb, the Coffee Crew, Carney's Ride, you guys sending all your raids over. I'm very honored. Sick Bastard, thank you guys very much. All right, let's go ahead and do our call to actions. Make sure you guys hit that like button and double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side, and hit that subscribe button if you guys are new here. And it's free, man. But let's go ahead and get the money part over. Please consider becoming a member, starting only at $3.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep these lights on and be on these airwaves. So I very much appreciate you guys becoming members and staying members. Well, side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, the campaign trail. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one, by the way, as well. We have a Discord server for all of you fucking legends. Make sure you guys go down into the video description down below of any live video, and that's where we have our invite for the Discord server. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, and gifted membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And, of course, I'll read them out loud just like a super chat. And you will have your voice heard, and I can have 100% of the proceeds. You know what I mean? Sounds like a W to me. All right, good morning, you legends. Thank you all for being here. We got Brother Steve Easy as well as Shadow. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, bro. It's been a minute. Let's see. We got Sick Bastard. We got AU. We got Frank in the building. We got Rebecca up there in Canada. Good morning to you. Great to see you. We got Dwayne as well. Absolutely great to see you guys. We got Brother Gary. We got Brother So Loud in the building. And yes, good to see all the legends here this AM. That's facts. We got Wolfheim coming in with the 27 Swedish crowns, by the way, saying Jazz Tobacco. You already know. Usually, we wait until we get into the first story for me to go ahead and light up. But because, we got a donation, of course. We got 27 Swedish crowns in the building. Shout out to Wolfheim. I appreciate you. We got Tiffany Lance as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you and Lee are doing great. Free Diddy, make baby oil great again. Yes, we have lots of oil problems, don't we? Let's see. We got Amarillo. What's up? I see you in the chat. We got Steve Posey as well. Good morning to you. We got Todd J as well. And Brother So Loud just got to shout love and respect to the Boondocks of North Carolina. Absolutely. Good morning to you. We got Brother Glare as well. Appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. We got Steve Easy coming in. This is 2 years, by the way. Member for 24 months, which is 2 years. We in the game. We in this for the long game. And with the IWF, yes, sir. I very much appreciate you, kind sir. That goes a long fucking way, and I think you are the #1 leader. You and two others. You, Papa Penguin, and Road Rage, I believe. You guys are the top 3 that have the most amount of time. We got Brother Straight Jacket in the building, top of the morning, my man. We got Prez as well. Good morning. Great to see you guys. All right, we're going to get right into this. Can't mess around too long here. So we're going to go ahead and start off first with Zelensky meets with EU allies for peace talks. Now, this happened, honestly, like 6 hours ago, right? So I just backtracked on this live stream. And actually, to be more accurate, it's about 4.5, 5 hours ago. So let's go ahead and check it out. This was live at the time. Okay. Still can't hear shit. There we go.
Let's make a start. And firstly, welcome to the first
What's up? We got Robert up in the building. Shout out to my man.
Meeting of the year. And I just want to say a few words because in 2026, thanks to the choices that we have already made, more people will begin to feel the change that we promised in their bills, in their communities, and in their health service.
What's up, Crystal Kenton? Good morning to you, and happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
So despite the chaos that we inherited, you can already start to see the difference that a Labour government makes. By restoring economic stability, interest rates have fallen 6 times, helping homeowners with their mortgages. By investing in our NHS, with 5 million extra appointments, Hospital waiting lists of
What links? Because I really don't put I don't put my links for my Cash App and PayPal anywhere. You may be getting that from the mods or something. If you look down below where my ticker is, let's say it's PayPal, let's say it's Venmo, or Cash App. See what's scrolling here at the bottom? It says $ ball valve for Cash App, for Venmo at ball valve. If you just type in those names, that it'll pull up. So anyways, I really don't put out links of my donation stuff though.
meaning that patients are able to get on with their lives instead of waiting in agony.
Yeah, there is no links on the pinned comment, homie. There is no links. It's just exactly what I read you just now. The same ticker that's rolling on the bottom, it's not supposed to be a link. It never has been a link. But anyways.
Treatment. By getting more police patrolling our streets, violent crime has fallen, which means families can feel safer when they're out and about.
Yeah, Robert, you're on the vertical side, that's why.
Our challenge for this year is to prove that politics can deliver. And nowhere is this more important than when it comes to putting more money in people's pockets. And I know that so many families across the country are still worried about the cost of living. For most people, it's the single most important and the biggest issue that they are facing. And we are on their side. And yes, there's a world of uncertainty and upheaval, but tackling the cost of living remains and must remain our focus. We're helping families.
How come he's talking so slow and we've got it on 1.25 times speed? Let's go ahead and speed him up a little bit more.
By taking £150 off average energy bills in April of this year.
It's kind of a little too fast for the audience, I would imagine. Let me go ahead and bring it back.
Helping travellers by freezing rail fares for the first time in 30 years. We're helping parents by opening free breakfast clubs in 500 more schools in April, saving them £450 a year.
We're listening here to UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Again, he is focused on this effort with Ukraine peace talks, but these were just some opening statements as he is also going to be holding his first cabinet meeting of 2026. Later on today, it's possible we get some more remarks from them, and we'll bring it to you here at Live Now from Fox. 7:21 on the East Coast, 3.
So that was the Prime Minister of United Kingdom talking ahead of the meeting with Zelensky sometime this. I don't know if it happened this morning because I searched through like the whole live stream here and I couldn't find anything regarding Zelensky having a meeting within that time. So maybe it just hasn't happened yet. Maybe it's going to happen because earlier we had DeSantis speaking, and then pretty much right after that we got into Trump, and Trump is live speaking right now, as you guys can see right here. But we're gonna get to Trump here in a bit. Not sure if they just haven't come out with that information yet. It hasn't happened. I don't know. We're going to find that out later. But we're going to move on. So we've got breaking. As you guys know, it was breaking at the time. This was like a day and a half ago, roughly, day and a half. And Tim Walz will not seek re-election for Minnesota governor. And I think that a lot of you guys did see that and saw that coming, or whatever the case is. But we're going to go ahead and bring this up, talk about it very quickly, because we have some other news on Walz.
We have some breaking news to report on this Monday as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has announced that he will not be seeking re-election. Taking a look here at a post from Fox News in which it details that Governor Walz under fire over state's fraud.
What's up, Papa D, my man? Good morning. Says right here, breaking: Minnesota Governor Tim Walz under fire over state's fraud scandal, drops 2026 re-election bid. Now, you guys will see that there are lawmakers, GOP lawmakers in particular, in the state of Minnesota that are calling for his resignation currently, saying that this is a great first step, but the American people and Minnesotans in particular deserve for his immediate resignation. And I was like, oh, shit.
Scandal drops 2026 re-election bid. I do want to bring up some of this footage.
Model bomb. Dude, you're good, homie. You don't worry about that. You're allowed to interrupt. All you guys are allowed to interrupt. And but I appreciate the $5, bro. That goes a long way. Making it rain. I know that you only care, homie. I know that you're looking out for me. I appreciate you. Thank you again for the raid this morning from the coffee crew.
The governor, as I read the latest information
What's up,
courtesy
Dylan?
of the Associated Press, but also our partners at Fox 9. It says this: Governor Tim Walz, Democrats' 2024 candidate for vice president, is ending his bid for.
Real quick, before she gets to say it, real quick. We got brother Lee Lance coming in, $2 on the Cash App, my man, saying, dues, boy. I very much appreciate the dues on the Cash App, bro.
For a third term as governor amid President Trump's relentless focus on a fraud investigation into child care programs in the state. Less than 4 months after announcing his re-election campaign, Walz said on Monday that he could no longer devote the energy necessary to win another term, even as he expressed confidence that he could win. He did issue a statement on Monday. It is quite lengthy, but I do want to read a part of it for you here as I bring it up on your screen.
What's up, Mile High? My man, good morning. It's been a minute. I see you been dropping in a little bit more often lately. I'm sure that it's been busy for you over the holidays, but great to see you, bro.
He said this, quote, Donald Trump and his allies in Washington, in St. Paul, and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors. And
right,
ultimately...
exactly, Gary. Exactly. He didn't resign, but they're calling for his resignation. But he will not be seeking re-election, correct, but he's currently sitting, right?
They want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in America to raise a family. They've already begun by taking our tax dollars that were meant to help families afford childcare, and they have no intention of stopping there. The AP, though, goes on to say that a person close
That's a man's man right there. Shit.
Stop the cap.
The Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota said that she is considering running for governor. The person who wasn't authorized to speak said that Klobuchar has not made a final decision. Walz is a military veteran and union supporter who helped enact an ambitious Democratic agenda for his state, including sweeping protections for abortion rights and generous aid to families. So this is major breaking news that we're following very closely. We also know that later on today at noon, so 12 p.m. Eastern time, Governor Walz is expected to host a press conference in which he will offer more details as to his drop for...
What's up, brother Jimmy Mack? Good morning and happy Topless Taco Tuesday. See, I interrupted for you.
Oh, shit!
That re-election bid. Now, Walz, in that statement that I did say was quite lengthy, I read to you some of it there, but it started off by saying this, quote, good morning and happy new year. Like many Minnesotans, I was glad to turn the page on 2025. It was an extraordinarily difficult year for our state, and it ended on a particularly sour note. He ended it by saying that all across the state, Minnesotans are hard at work, and also talking about really some of the political concerns that he has had, which has really kind of been one of the reasons why he decided to not seek that re-election. But again, he ended by saying, quote, I am doubly proud of the incredible team we've put together to make that vision a reality. Thank you.
Okay, that's good enough. We get the point of what's happening here. He's not going to be seeking re-election. Sounds good. Now we're going to move on in chronological order. We're going to come back to Tim Walz. We have some more stories on him. But first, we're going to go into Maduro pleads not guilty to drug and machine gun charges that happened yesterday. As you guys may or may not know, Maduro is in New York. I'm sure that you guys know that aspect. He did his arraignment hearing yesterday, and that's where you plead either guilty or not guilty. And, of course, he pled not guilty, and we all knew that that was going to happen. But it is newsworthy, so let's go ahead and bring it up. And because we are following what's happening not only in Venezuela, but as well as Maduro, so... let's go ahead and figure this out together.
To talk about the surreal moment of Maduro and his wife in a U.S. federal courtroom today, pleading not guilty. We want to bring in our next guest to help break all of that down right now. You know, I'm a great friend of Live Now from Fox, Nima Rahmani, former federal prosecutor. Great to have.
Yeah, this guy, though, I mean, he may be cool and all, but I got a question.
Why are you gay?
Just asking.
You on here, and what a moment this was earlier this afternoon in New York.
Mike, what a surreal moment. I mean, really what will go down is probably the biggest drug trial in American history. I'm a little bit older. I remember Manuel Noriega. Obviously, folks have been talking about El Chapo, but this is something else. You know, the city.
Yeah, El Chapo actually, come on, man. I mean, we have many kingpins of drugs that Pablo Escobar. I mean, fucking, I still understand. Yes, Maduro is a huge issue, especially on the cocaine front of the drug game. But so is a lot of places like Mexico. And actually, that's where most of our fentanyl is actually coming through from China, coming from our southern border, being brought in from the southern border into the United States. So, yeah, I mean, yes, Maduro, granted, there was a lot of drugs involved, yes. But is it the largest ever? I don't think so, bro.
president of Venezuela. Obviously, the U.S. government does not deem him the legitimate president of the country, which is
that's what he even said it himself. He goes, well, there's El Chapo, and I'm like, yeah, that's to me way bigger. I mean, that's just me.
Very important, because if he were, he would have sovereign immunity. But for him to be arrested, some would say kidnapped, disagree, excuse me. But for him to be arrested in a really extraordinary military mission, brought to the United States this weekend and making his initial appearance in Manhattan federal court. I mean, you couldn't make this up. This is the script from a movie. So really surreal and just fascinating.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, it's like ripped off from a Tom Clancy book or movie. There's no doubt about it, the way that this was done, this sort of surgical extraction of a leader or a supposed leader of Venezuela. Let's talk now about the not guilty pleas by the Maduro and his wife, and who is defending both of them.
So Barry Pollock is representing Maduro. He is probably most well known for representing for many years WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. So
that's pretty fucking interesting.
He's well known. Flores, his wife, has also a pretty high prominent defense attorney as well, Spanish speaker. So you can't have the same lawyer in these types of cases because there's a potential conflict. Even if you're husband and wife, one of them could potentially roll on the other one, cooperate, rat, snitch, whatever you want to call it, Mike. So that's why in these types of cases, every defendant has to have a separate lawyer. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. I would be shocked if the government gives any type of deal. And when you're looking at the counts here, the narco-terrorism carries a 20-year minimum. And folks are talking about that machine gun charge, that destructive device, that carries a 30-year mandatory consecutive sentence. So that has to run consecutive, not concurrent. So just on those two counts alone, you have 50 years, throw in the cocaine importation, that's another 10-year minimum, 60 years. This is
so I was about to say, yeah, 60 years.
Effectively a life case.
Yeah, I mean, anything past 25, is it, Steve Easy? Or 20? I can't remember what's considered life anymore. 25 years or 20 years, one of the two.
Now, Nima, what type of timeline now are we looking at this all? Because we know the next court appearance isn't going to be till March 17th.
What's up, Alfred? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat.
What happened from now in between that date?
So what's going to happen is the defense is going to review the discovery, and the discovery is very important in a case like this. Let's not forget, this is an older 2020 indictment. And for folks that aren't familiar with drug trafficking cases, it's important to know that the heads of these organizations, they go nowhere near the drugs. It's not like you're arresting someone on the street and they have a baggie of cocaine. So what you have to do is rely on wiretaps. You have to rely on informants, undercover cooperators in these types of cases.
So just a whole bunch of ratatas.
To really peel back those layers to get to the head of the organization. So there's going to be a lot of witness testimony. Typically what happens is lower level defendants, they're arrested, they're charged, they plead guilty, and they cooperate because there's a significant benefit to them to doing so. We talked about these sentences under federal law. They are significant for drugs. So really the only way you can get out from these mandatory minimums is to cooperate. So over the years, prosecutors at the U.S. Attorney's Office, as well as DEA, FBI, they've been working on this case. So they have grand jury testimony. They have a memorandum of these interviews with these cooperators. Obviously, they tend to have wiretaps as well. It could be phone, could be messaging apps like Signal. So they have to provide all this evidence to the defense, and they're going to comb through it. And really, it ends up going in one of two directions. Usually what happens.
Shit, my man Alfred Patterson in the chat, bro, sends in $10 on the Cash App saying, for the wake and bake. Yo, I can get down with that, yo. Thank you very much, Alfred. That goes a long way.
In these complex cases, and this case is going to be designated as complex, is that the defendant waives time because it is the defendant's right to a speedy trial. They tell prosecutors, hey, I need more time to review the evidence, to prepare our defense. That ends up pushing it out. In addition, if the defense files any motions, such as a sovereign immunity or other type of immunity motions, that tends to push the trial date out as well. So if I were guessing, typically it takes about a year or so to get one of these cases.
Oh, wow. Michigan doesn't do any good time or any of that shit? Really? I thought they all did that. Damn.
Trial, so maybe the end of 2026, early 2027. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of witnesses. I don't think it's going to go as long as El Chapo's trial. That was about 3 months, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a month-long trial.
Just look at him.
Yeah, so fascinating every way that you look at all of this. And lastly, Nima, I think a lot of people wondering too, okay, so from the moment when Maduro and his wife were taken from their home and then here into the United States, how did the process of him retaining a legal counsel, how did that happen in between?
I think he I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that he is basically appointed a federal attorney. But I think it's literally given to him.
48 to 72 hours.
Well, obviously, here's someone who's very well connected. He probably got a referral, or maybe even thought that this may happen and had him on retainer. What's really interesting about these cases.
So wait, no, hold on. That's the whole original case, because then people were asking like, okay, well then can he use his own lawyer? And people are like speculating that he doesn't have. How is he gonna have the money to do it since he's here? Blah blah blah. I'm thinking to myself, you guys are fucking stupid. I could be in prison right fucking now and have shit being bought on the street. I mean, it doesn't matter. I just don't, I don't understand certain people's mindsets, I guess. So he was going to be appointed a federal, whatever they call the attorney. But nonetheless, it sounds like, now I could be wrong, maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but it sounds like he's got his own lawyer.
Maduro, his wife, his inner circle, they're under sanctions, so they really can't do any business in the United States.
Wow, we got Brother Sterling Wheel in the building, dropping a gifted membership for one of the homies, man. I very much appreciate you dropping it like it's hot. And we got Papa D as well dropping it like it's hot with the $2 saying, I interrupted too. Blessings. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
United States, that's sort of the biggest question I have here is how are these lawyers getting paid? Are they getting paid by Maduro? Because obviously, if you are subject to sanctions, you can't do any business in the United States. That includes retaining a lawyer. And of course, you can't use the proceeds of a legal activity to pay a lawyer either. So I don't know if the Treasury Department is going to step in or the Department of Justice to start asking some questions, but those are questions that
it kind of sounds like homeboy don't even know himself. It kind of sounds like he don't even fucking know. So he's probably speculating in a little bit because I didn't hear the name of the attorney. That's what I was expecting, to hear the name of the attorney, but I didn't hear a name. Anyways, we're going to move on. Trump rips Tim Walz after re-election announcement, quote, destroyed Minnesota. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And listen, this is what I would say to Tim Walz at this point. This is coming from me to you, Mr. Walz. Embrace your fuck up.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Shit. All right, let's go ahead and move on into this story. Let me go and bring it up. Here we go.
I do want to now bring you some of the news coming out of Minnesota. A big statement coming out today, followed by a news conference by Governor Tim Walz announcing that he is not going to be running for re-election. That statement being put out earlier this morning as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will not seek re-election for a third term as governor. He announced on Monday via a statement at a news conference. Walz's announcement comes as he faces growing national criticism from President Donald Trump, among others, for his handling of fraud in Minnesota. Just a little bit ago, President Trump did put out a statement via his Truth Social saying Minnesota's corrupt governor will possibly leave office before his term is up, but in any event will not be running again because he was caught red-handed along with Representative Omar and others of his Somali friends, stealing tens of
Shit, this is going to be brutal.
billions of taxpayer dollars. I feel certain the facts will come out and they will reveal a serious, unscrupulous, and rich group of slime balls. Governor Walz
Shit.
has destroyed the state of Minnesota, but others like Governor Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, and Kathy Hochul have done, in my opinion, an even more dishonest and incompetent job. No one is above the law there.
What's up, Mountain Woman? Good morning and happy Topless Taco Tuesday to you as well. Good morning.
Put out there just a little bit ago. And what we want to do is play out
What's up, Bill Castle, my man, as well. Good morning.
Walz, just a little bit ago. Let's bring that to you right here on Live Now from Fox. He does not take any reporter questions.
Extraordinarily difficult year for our state, and it ended on a particularly sour note. For the last several years, an organized group of criminals have sought to take advantage of this state's generosity. And even as we make progress in the fight against the fraudsters, we now see an organized group of political actors seeking to take advantage of a crisis. I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in Washington and in St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors. And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in the country to raise a family. They've already begun
that was cap. That's not true.
To withhold funds that were meant to help families afford child care. And they have no intention of stopping there. Make no mistake, we should be concerned about fraud in our state government. We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust. That's why over the past few years, we've made systemic changes in the way we do business. We've gone to the legislature time and time again to get more tools to combat fraud. We fired people who weren't doing their jobs. We've seen people go to jail for stealing from our state. We've cut off whole streams of funding in partnership with the federal government, where we saw widespread criminal activity. We put new locks on the doors of our remaining programs, and we've hired a new head of program integrity to make sure that those locks can't be broken. All across this state, Minnesotans are hard at work on this problem. Advocates, administrators, investigators are on the front lines defending the integrity of our state's programs, and I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to all of them. There is more to do. A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for everyone, from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies to local and county government, the buck does stop with me. My administration has been taking fast, decisive action to solve this crisis. We'll win the fight against the fraudsters. But the political gamesmanship
What's up, Mr. Mister? Great to see you in the chat, bro. Good morning.
We're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder. We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers. We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children. We've got the president of the United States.
There were no children, dude. He didn't see a single child.
Demonizing our Somali neighbors and wrongfully confiscating funds that Minnesotans rely on. It's disgusting and it's dangerous. Republicans are playing politics with the future of this state. It's shameful. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals. And we welcome the involvement of the federal government. I am grateful to the career professionals at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI who have been helping us fight this fight for years. But I cannot abide the actions of...
By the way, real quick, we've got 312 of you guys in here right now. Make sure you guys double tap the screen and hit the like button on the horizontal side. I very much appreciate it. You guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening in the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. So thank you guys.
The political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points. They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem, and every intention of trying to profit off of it. Which brings me to this. 2026 is an election year. Election years have a way of ramping up the politics at a time when we simply can't afford more of that in Minnesota. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race.
No, you wouldn't.
But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that
that's a wild statement that he made.
Stupid.
That he thinks that if he were still run, that he could still win. Dude. Absolutely not, Tampon Tim. You got cooked.
Can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who want to prey on our differences. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness and zero regret. I did not run for this job.
Not yet, Steve Posey. I know. No one wants to listen to this fuck, but it is important. I do got to hear the rest of this.
To have the job. I ran for the job to do the job. Minnesota faces enormous challenges this year, and I refuse to spend a single minute doing anything other than rising to meet this moment. Minnesota has always come first and always will. That's what I believe servant leadership demands of me. As an optimist, I'll hold out some hope that my friends on the other side of the aisle will consider what servant leadership demands of them in the moment. We can work together to combat against the criminals. We can work together to rebuild the public's trust and make our state stronger. But make no mistake about it. If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power, smearing entire communities, and running their own fraudulent game at the expense of Minnesotans, I will fight back with everything that I have. I am absolutely confident a Democratic and a DFLer will hold this seat come November. I'm confident that I'll find ways to contribute to the state that I love long after next January. But there'll be time to worry about all that later. Today, I'm proud of the work we've done to make Minnesota America's best place to live and raise kids. From our new paid leave policy, to our child tax credit, to our school lunch programs feeding every single child. And I'm doubly proud of the incredible team we put together to make this vision a reality. I want to take a moment to thank every member of my staff, every single state employee who has been part
Congratulations, by the way, Bill.
of this
That's
fight.
awesome.
Now more than ever, I need you on the job. I need you to help work together to tackle the important work in front of us. And most of all, I want Minnesotans to know how grateful I am for the opportunity to serve this state, for the privilege that I have been given to serve in this office. I'm on the job. I'm focused on making sure that we stay America's best place to live and raise kids. No one will take that away from us. I'm proud of the way we treat our neighbors. I'm proud of the way that we welcome people to this state. I'm proud of the way that we innovate. And I'm proud of the way that we are optimists for the future.
Oh my goodness. Please just get it over.
A few moments later.
Perfect fucking place for me to play that song on this pause. Look at that face.
No one's taking this away from us. Not the fraudsters. Certainly not this president. Not on my watch. Tomorrow, I'll be back with you. I'll give you an update on America's best paid family medical leave program that is now a week into it. And at that time, I'll take all your questions. Thank you.
All right. And he's not taking any questions. That's why he's ditching right there. He made his announcement and he dipped. He was like, I am not answering questions today. All right, we're moving on. We have something interesting here. U.S. recommends fewer shots in childhood vaccine schedule overhaul. I'm not really sure what the entire story is here. We're going to figure this out together.
The Trump administration making another announcement today regarding childhood vaccine schedules. They have scaled back the number of vaccines that the CDC is recommending.
What's up, Dirty, by the way? Good morning to you. Great to see you.
For children, now only recommending 11 vaccines. And this is, of course, a big step back from the previous recommendation
none of your business.
schedule. And we have some tweets coming in response to this. This is from President Trump saying, today, the Trump administration is proud to announce the United States of America's updated childhood vaccine schedule. The schedule is rooted in the gold standard of science and widely agreed upon by scientists and experts all over the world. Effective today, America will no longer require 72 jabs for our beautiful, healthy children. We are moving to a far more reasonable schedule where all children will only be recommended to receive vaccinations for 11 of the most serious and dangerous diseases. Parents can still choose to give their children all of the vaccines if they wish, and they will still be covered by insurance. However, this updated schedule finally aligns the United States with other developed nations around the world.
So if there's 72 mandatory required jabs, quote unquote, right, for your kids' progress and health or whatever, you need a total of 72, which I didn't know. But I wonder how much they're planning on dropping it down to. Like, let's say they say, oh, we're only going to have 48 now. Well, what are the ones that are going to be dropped, you know? So I think they're just announcing that they're going to do this. I don't know if they know exactly which ones they're going to pull out. I'm sure there's a few that have been, you know, raised red flags or something like that. And so they're going to take a second look. I'm not sure, but we'll figure that out together as time goes on.
Congratulations to HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy, CDC Acting Director Jim
Yo,
O'Neill,
my
FDA
man, good
Commissioner
morning.
Marty McCary, CMS Administrator Dr. Oz, NIH Director, and all of the medical experts and professionals who worked very hard to make this happen. Many Americans, especially the Maha moms, have been praying for these common sense reforms for many years. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We have some more reaction here from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying under President Trump's bold leadership, the CDC is finally adopting common sense updates to America childhood immunization schedule based solely on the gold standard of science. This historic action empowers parents and physicians to make the best individualized decisions to protect children while also restoring much needed confidence in our public health system. And people also reacting on the other side of this. Senator Chuck Schumer saying New York is facing the highest flu.
Oh my God, Chuck Schumer. He is just a walking fucking L, isn't he?
Bruh. Levels in over 20 years as flu rates surge across America, and yet HHS just slashed children's vaccine recommendations, including the flu. RFK Jr. is putting our children in danger. He's making America sicker, and it will lead to more deaths. We also have this from California Governor Gavin Newsom saying this reckless move by the Trump administration has nothing to do with science or informed choice. It's about appeasing.
God, fucking Newsom too, bro. These guys just suck.
Bruh. Debunked anti-vaccine agenda being pushed by RFK Jr.
They just want to back their big pharma. You know what I mean? They're protecting big pharma. No, we must have all of these 72 jabs for all of you children. We need it because we need money. What is your fucking issue?
His allies. I strongly condemn this decision that puts infants and children at real risk.
Holy shit. Charles, are you serious? If that's for real, that's wild. It's going from 72 down to 11? Holy fuck.
And public health officials are urging people across the U.S. to still get the flu vaccine ahead of this season's peak flu season. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention posting new data today showing surging flu infection numbers over the holiday season. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has more from Chicago.
Influenza infections across the nation spiked over the
I can't stand this political bullshit, man. It's just so wild. Let me let sick for my big pharma companies.
Holidays in a flu season that the CDC is classifying as moderately severe. The agency estimates that there have been at least 11 million illnesses, 120,000 hospitalizations, and 5,000 deaths. 9 flu-related pediatric deaths have also been reported so far this season.
There are no normal years. When it arrives with
And
a
by the
bang
way,
and people get sick.
By the way, don't get it twisted, Danielle, or Daniela. Don't get it twisted. If you should be able to have the right to, of course, get a vaccine if you want it, of course. But nothing should be mandatory from the government. You know, like that's what's the argument here. It's not about fuck all vaccines and you shouldn't have vaccines at all. No, it should be your right to choose.
Some of that unpredictability in the current season comes from a new flu variant dubbed as the super flu. Symptoms can include high fever, body aches, extreme fatigue, and more.
This particular year, this variant, which is a subvariant of H3N2, it has several mutations in it that make it not a great.
What's up, brother TVT? My man, good morning. Great to see you, bro.
Great match with the
H3N2
strain that was included in the flu vaccine this year.
More than 90% of H3N2 infections include a subclade K variant, which wasn't included in this season's flu shots.
When a new strain of virus comes around, there's almost like a more severe illness from it.
Still, health experts say it's too early to tell whether the mismatch is a major problem. Despite that, they are urging everyone over the age of 6 months to still get their flu vaccine, which should reduce the risk of severe disease and hospitalization.
Vaccination is still very, very effective, even with the news of this new subclade K.
Some experts also say holiday travel, misinformation, and low vaccination rates are contributing to the high flu activity. So far, roughly 130 million doses of the flu shot have been given in the U.S. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Very interesting. So that's basically from the CDC there. Interesting. The recommendations here that are changing. Anyways, lawmaker reaction after, quote, Gang of 8 briefed on Venezuela operation. Now, I'm not very sure what they're referring to when they say Gang of 8. Not really sure. We're going to find that out together here in a moment. But first, we got to get the money part.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Perfect.
Denied.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. We're continuing to follow the aftermath of this weekend's strike in Venezuela and the capture of Nicolas Maduro. Right now at the Capitol, this is a live look we're going to show you. This is outside of the briefing room where lawmakers were just briefed by Trump administration officials about this military strike in Venezuela over the weekend. Just moments ago, we saw Senator Chuck Schumer walking out of that briefing room with some short remarks about what was discussed. Let's listen.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, Kate.
Come on, Schumer. Let's see what you're going for this time.
Bruh. Well, this briefing, while very extensive and long, posed far more questions than it ever answered. Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying. I did not receive any assurances that we would not try to do the same thing in other countries. And in conclusion, when the United States engages in this kind of regime change and so-called nation building, it always ends up hurting the United States. I left the briefing feeling that it would again.
Yo, we got Mr. Alfred Patterson coming in and dropping a gifted membership. I really appreciate that because you're not only helping me, but you're helping someone in the Insane Wheels family, man. So I very much appreciate that. Let's fucking go.
The U.S. military operation
Jesus,
in Venezuela.
Fix fucking Johnson's fucking microphone, please. Where's the audio engineer?
Was a decisive and justified action. Nicolas Maduro is responsible for the deaths of untold thousands of Americans. after years of trafficking illegal drugs and violent cartel members into our country. This is undisputed and everybody agrees with. These are crimes for which he's been indicted in U.S. courts, and an arrest warrant was duly issued. And now he has learned what accountability looks like. Under President Trump, the United States will no longer allow criminal regimes to profit from wreaking havoc and destruction on our country. He's putting Americans first and succeeding where others have failed, and this is very clear. This operation demonstrated the unmatched precision and effectiveness, professionalism, and capability of the U.S. military. There's no other force on planet Earth that can do what we can do. And it produced an outcome only America's armed forces could achieve. Our brave military personnel who executed this successful operation with speed and precision and power deserve our gratitude and our congratulations. You should sleep a little better at night knowing that we have this great force. The Maduro regime functioned as a criminal organization masquerading as a government. This was not a legitimate president of a country. It systematically used the instruments of the Venezuela state, which is its military, its intelligence services, and its territory, to facilitate trafficking drugs into the United States. These activities were conducted in coordination with designated narco-terrorists and transnational criminal organizations that are very dangerous, directly threatening the U.S.'s sovereignty and public health and national security. The Biden administration, the previous team, offered a $25 million bounty for information leading to Maduro's arrest, following a successful 2020 indictment. Maduro had multiple opportunities to change course and cooperate with international law enforcement, and he chose not to do that. And now he's going to face the full force of American justice on U.S. soil. Congress continues to exercise oversight of U.S. military operations and closely track the situation. Tonight's briefing to the Gang of Eight was a part of that. This briefing was the 20th bipartisan briefing on military operations involving Venezuela so far. The administration has scheduled an all-member briefing on Wednesday, and I don't know if it's confirmed while we were in there, but it will be midweek. With regard to the war powers and the compliance with federal law, we are not at war. We do not have U.S. armed forces in Venezuela, and we are not occupying that country. The Constitution gives Congress the power to declare war, that is true. But it also vests the President of the United States with vast authorities as Commander-in-Chief.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody that is arguing right now that what happened here is theoretically illegal, it's not. It's not illegal. It's actually legal what Trump did. Now, are we talking about a moral standpoint? Should we do something like this? Blah, blah. That's debatable. That's the part that's debatable. But what isn't debatable is that it is theoretically legal because they are deemed a narco-terrorist organization.
Article 2 of the Constitution. The president has the authority, as all presidents do, to deploy military forces to address threats to the U.S. and to enforce U.S. law. That's what happened here. The War Powers Act states that notification should be made to Congress within 48 hours following the initiation of hostilities. As we've noted, and I've made many public comments, that happened almost instantaneously here. My first call was at 4 a.m. by Secretary of State Rubio. Despite the claims by some of my colleagues, under the War Powers Act, there is no requirement for prior congressional approval or prior notification. And in fact, in this case, the intelligence was so sensitive, the conditions had to be perfect. There was no predetermination of when exactly it would occur. And if there had been prior notice, even assembling the Gang of Eight.
What's up, brother Kel up there in Canada? Good morning to you. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
Example, during a December holiday, it would have set off alerts and very likely might have been a leaked situation, which could have caused great damage to our forces, our troops there. Any claims to the contrary about the War Powers Act either misunderstand the statute and longstanding precedent, or they're just being disingenuous. Congress retains full oversight authority, and the administration is acting consistent with the law, and that's what we discussed in the room tonight. I'll close with this. With regard to international law, there's been a lot of question about that. It is important to point out the United States has never accepted any interpretation that the UN Charter limits the use of force solely to responses to armed attacks. The U.S. has always maintained the right to use force to defend our national interest, to preserve the safety of the American people, and to prevent ongoing threats to its security. Venezuela's state-sponsored drug trafficking constituted a persistent violation of U.S. sovereignty and a direct threat to the safety of...
Well, and that's exactly why they're getting away with being able to do exactly what they're doing, such as regime change. And then, of course, people are not considering as well the resources. Of course, that's a major, major play, what just happened. Regards to oil in Venezuela, and also, believe it or not, silver reserves or silver mines or whatever. So there's a lot going on here on a resource level as well. But there's a reason why they were able to do this. Everything had to fall into place correctly. You know, deeming Venezuela and Maduro's regime a terrorist organization. now you can basically do whatever the fuck you want. And whether that's right or wrong, that's not what we're talking about here. All right, we're moving on. Maduro courtroom sketches from first appearance amid Venezuela capture. I'm going to show you just briefly what they wrote up. I don't really care about their whole commentary. I'm going to be kind of honest here because we got to get into, someone unfortunately died at 65 years old. GOP House GOP Representative Doug LaMalfa. How do I say it? LaMalfa. Okay, there we go. Fucking, I'm a retard sometimes, just the way it goes. And then we still got to listen to Trump and what he's got. Man, we're fucking behind, man. Let's go.
This, a deposed Venezuelan leader, Nicolas Maduro, declared himself innocent and a, quote, decent man as he pleaded not guilty to federal drug trafficking.
Yo, brother, Mr. coming in on the Cash App saying for $30, by the way, keep up the great work. Man, thank you so much, bro. Fucking sending it out there, bro. So I very much appreciate that.
Charges in a U.S. courtroom on Monday. Maduro telling a judge, quote, I'm innocent, I am not guilty, I am a decent man, the president of my country. Now, in that courtroom, the judge read Maduro his rights and acknowledged his counsel. Maduro said he had not previously known those rights but understood them and pleaded not guilty to all 4 federal charges that he is facing. His wife, Celia Flores, who you just saw there on your screen, also pled not guilty. At one point near the end of the hearing, attorney Barry J. Pollack said his client, quote, is head of a sovereign state and entitled to the privilege that the state ensures. He also went on to say that questions about the legality of his military abduction and that there would be...
Yeah, but it was theoretically legal. Maybe not in your country, but it is in ours. So that's really what is all that matters. You're on our soil right now. So anyways, we're going to move on, though. We did see a couple of the sketches. I like being able to see the courtroom sketches. All right, we're moving on, though. Let's see who
all right, thanks for being here with us
died
on
here.
Live Now from Fox. We are learning here via Fox News that Republican U.S. Representative Doug LaMalfa of California has died at the age of 65. Majority Whip Tom Emmer confirming this news. Here's what we know as this is a breaking and developing story. We do know that House GOP Representative Doug LaMalfa from California has passed away at age 65. LaMalfa, representative part of California, and was chair of the Congressional Western Caucus. Now, his death brings House Republicans' majority down to 218 to 213. So this is that post here from House Majority Whip Tom Emmer confirming the death, saying, Jackie and I are devastated about the sudden loss of our friend, Congressman Doug LaMalfa. Doug was a loving father and husband and staunch advocate for his constituents and rural America. Our prayers are with Doug's wife, Jill, and their children. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of reaction coming in here from social.
Probably one of the last Republican. I mean, I'm just kidding. I mean, there is plenty of Republican. Well, not plenty, but there are some Republican House GOP members over there in California. There is, believe it or not, a lot of places in California that are rural and you have that old school Western, mentality as well too. I mean, there's old school traditions in a lot of these different towns. Yeah, it's, believe it or not, it's not just Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, all that bullshit. Sacramento. It's not all that. There's little subsidies all over California, and it's a fucking huge state. Anyways,
media. This is from House Republicans saying, mourning the loss of Congressman Doug LaMalfa, a lifelong resident in Northern California and a fourth-generation rice farmer. Congressman LaMalfa spent more than 2 decades in public service. He proudly represented
2 fucking decades, bro.
California's first congressional district from 2013 to 2026, serving as chairman of the Congressional Western Caucus. Please join us in praying for Congressman LaMalfa's wife, kids, and staff. I am going to see if our producers have any additional social media reaction coming in here. All right. So
yes, I did see that, Glare. I did see that. Like a window got busted or something like that.
From Representative Carlos Jimenez saying, I express our deepest condolences to the family of our friend, Congressman Doug LaMalfa, a true patriot, tireless legislator, proud Northern Californian, and champion of so many just causes. May his memory be a blessing. We'll miss him dearly in Congress. Once again, a developing story here. This just coming into our newsroom here, and this is from Chairwoman Lisa McClain saying she's heartbroken to learn about the sudden passing of my friend and colleague, Congressman Doug LaMalfa. Doug was a hardworking member of the House who fought tirelessly for the people of Northern California. My prayers are with his wife, Jill.
Yeah, no, this is terrible. Terrible fucking news, man. Absolutely. All right, we're going to go ahead and go into our very last thing here. Trump go ahead and speaks today, I guess, with GOP lawmakers of some sort. Not really sure exactly what, but we're bringing it up, and we're going to go ahead and tune in right now.
Head over there live and listen in to the president.
I don't care about no song, bro. Here we go.
The business. I love that song, but I want to thank you all. You're special, special people. And I want to just say that, I announced I was coming over here, and I said, I love those Republicans, and I meant it. I said, except for maybe a couple I don't love. But the people in this room, I don't know if those couple are here. I don't know. I don't care if they're here or not. But we love you, and you've done an amazing job. You love the country. You're doing
What's up, Gunpowder Nitro? Good morning to you, and happy Topless Taco Tuesday, my man.
what's right for the country. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year, the most successful House Republican majority in decades. And we did it with not a big majority. Right? This was not a big majority, but it's a unified majority, and it's people that know what it takes to make America great again. So together we had 12 months of unprecedented success in 2025, and now we're going to make history and break records with the epic midterm victory that we're going to pull off. It just doesn't seem to happen for people to win the presidency. It's an amazing phenomenon. You win the presidency, and we sure as hell are having a successful presidency. I will say that.
Shit. Oh, shit! Let me see if did I speed him up? No, I haven't. Let me go ahead and bring him up.
If it's a successful presidency, and it's been nothing like what we're doing. We had a very good day 2 days ago, too. But even if it's successful, they don't win. I don't know what it is. There's something psychological, like you vote against. You can win by a lot. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions. We won everything. But they say that when you win the presidency, you lose the midterm. So you're all brilliant people. Most of you are in this business longer than me. That makes me smarter than you. Because look where I am, right?
Oh, shit.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's hilarious, bro. Dude, Trump is out of control. He's wilding.
But I wish you could explain to me what the hell's going on with the mind of the public, because we have the right policy. They don't. They have horrible policy. They do stick together. They're violent. They're vicious. They're vicious people. And they stick together like glue. They don't have a couple of the people that we have. A couple of people, not too many, really very few. And that's why I want to just say that before we go any further, I want to express our tremendous sorrow at the loss of a great member, great member, Congressman Doug LaMalfa, who passed away yesterday, as you probably have heard. And he was the leader of the Western Caucus, a fierce champion on California water issues. He was great on water. He wanted to release the water. He'd scream at him. And a true defender of American children. He was a defender of everybody. And our hearts go out to his wife, Jill, and his entire family. He voted with me 100% of the time. And by the way, he wasn't a 3 o'clock in the morning person. Do you know what I mean by that? Where the speaker goes, sir, could you call up? Could you call? I said, what time is it, speaker? Sir, it's 3 in the morning. Could you make a couple of calls? How many? 9. So I'd start calling 3 in the morning. I said, I shouldn't use any names. I'm just going to create problems. But hi, Jim, and I'm not talking about Jim Jordan. I never had to call 3 in the morning for him. But I said, hi, Jim, how you doing? I just called to say hello, 3 okay, sir. Sir, you haven't spoken to me in 3 years, and it's now 3 in the morning, so I know what you want. You want my vote? And usually almost always they'd give it, but they wanted to be called. And with Doug, I never had to call. He was with us right from the beginning. I love those guys. I must say I probably love them the best, the guys that I don't have to call. They know we're doing the right thing. I have a couple that are going to be with us all the way, but they just want the call. They want love. They need love. They're more insecure than most of you. It's true. No, most of you are secure people. You're all laughing. No, most of you are secure people. I had a couple say, look, I could have Trump call me all the time. I just have to break his ass a little bit. And he'll be calling. But I appreciate those. We actually had a little party. We opened up a beautiful section.
Oh, my goodness, Trump. I don't give a shit about none of that. Please, let's just get into it a little bit.
I wish Mike were tougher. He's tough. He's tough as anybody in the room, actually. But can't be tough when you have a majority of 3. And now, sadly, a little bit less than that. A little bit less than that, maybe. but you can't be Trump. You can't. I want you. You make.
I agree, Charles. By the way,
10 enemies, 20 enemies. That's the end of that, right? Everybody loves him. I would say there's one person he's given up on. I mean, I think he just gave up on this guy. He's so bad. He never votes for us. But no matter how good, he won't vote for us. There's a sickness there. There's something wrong. You can have the greatest bill, the greatest for the country. Forget about for Republicans. Great, great, great for the country. I'm a no vote. We don't even bother calling him at 3 in the morning, do we? Huh? But I want to thank another guy who's as tough as they come, because he went through something that none of us have gone through. I went through a little shot, but I get that throbbing feeling every once in a while. But what he went through was incredible. And then Steve Scalise, he got hit hard. Where's Steve? Steve. He's a tough cookie. He was dead. I went to the hospital. His wife was crying so much. She was a mess. Oh, yeah, she loves you. That's the only thing I
yeah, no, we all know that, Steve Easy. That's a fact.
learned about Steve, that he has a wife who loves him. Because I've gone to hospitals where guys are in bad shape, and the wife couldn't care less. She's waiting. She's looking for the next guy. Who's the next guy down the pike? Who the hell is the next guy? He's died. I said, that's so bad. Oh, yeah. I had one where the dog died and the husband died at the same time. I said, it's so sad. Yes, I love this dog so much. She couldn't give it, and the guy left her a fortune. Can you imagine? I shouldn't have left her anything, but she was much more concerned. It's true. Oh, the dog was devastated. The husband.
See, I couldn't be this level of a politician. I actually don't enjoy. I'm sure that you guys actually see. I don't enjoy talking a lot. But when I say something, it fucking means something, kind of thing. I don't necessarily need to tell stories, and I don't need to do that. But Trump does. So, anyways, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here and see if we can get actually somewhere here.
Electricity for almost the entire country was, boom, turned off. That's when they knew there was a problem. There was no electricity. Caracas said, there's no electricity. It's not the only people with lights were the people that had candles. It was just off. So we sort of got them a little by surprise. But it was brilliant tactically. It was an incredible thing. But
I'm not sure, TVT. I haven't heard from her this morning.
Where Schumer, he's such a bad guy. I mean, I've known the guy for a long time, and he's such a bad guy. At some point they should say, you did a great job. Thank you. Congratulations. Wouldn't it be good? I would say that if they did a good job. Their philosophies are so different, but if they did a good job, I'd be happy for the country. They've been after this guy for years and years and years. And, he's a violent guy. He gets up there and he tries to imitate my dance a little bit. But he's a violent guy. And he's killed millions of people. He's tortured. They have a torture chamber in the middle of Caracas that they're closing up. But he's tortured people, and now what they do, the radical left, they actually have people, and it's hard to get them. They're all paid people. Most of these people are paid. They're paid when they have brand new, beautiful printed signs by like the highest quality printer, and you have a woman, free Maduro, and the sign is before we even did the attack. Free Maduro. Why do you want him freed? I don't know, but he should be free. Oh, she reads the sign. What does that say? It says free. Well, that's what I believe. And you see the sign. It's like, Lisa, we should all have quality signage like that. The one thing I want their sign maker. The guy is great. He does beautiful signage. The old days was better when they used to write out their own sign, wasn't it? They'd make a sign in the basement. They'd have an old broken board holding up a sign, and it's made with a magic marker, sloppy as hell, and it meant something. But today, when you have that yellow and black, they should use different colors a little bit. But the yellow is a beautiful shade of yellow.
Can we get to something, please? Oh, my God.
A few moments later.
You're killing me, fucking Trump. You're killing me today.
To get them, including allies. When allies want to buy them, they have to wait 4 years for a plane, 5 years for a helicopter. We're not letting that happen anymore. We're telling our defense contractors, you're going to start building faster. Guy makes... I have a big problem with it. I'm the king. I have sold more Boeings than any human being on earth. They gave me an award, Salesman of the Year.
Oh, shit. Salesman of the Year.
I said, what about Salesman in the history of Boeing? I've sold more Boeing planes than any man in history by far. Oh, shit! Over 1,000 planes. I said, that's the good news. But why should they wait 3-4 years to get a plane?
Funny sometimes.
Get them immediately. The F-35s, it takes too long to get them. The Apache helicopter. I mean, I had India coming to me, sir. I've been waiting 5 years. We're changing it. India ordered 68 Apaches, and Prime Minister Modi came to see me. Sir, may I see you, please? Yes. I have a very good relationship with him. He's not that happy with me because, they're paying a lot of tariffs now because they're not doing the oil, but they are. They've now reduced it very substantially, as you know, from Russia. We're getting rich because of tariffs.
That's true. That's true, TBT.
By the way, I hope everyone understands that. They hate to report. We're going to have over $650 billion poured into our country or coming in shortly because of tariffs. You know, they're finding all of these pockets of money. A couple of weeks ago, sir, we're off by $39 billion. Oh, is that good or bad? Meaning, do we have it or are we short of it? Sir, it's $39 billion that we can't account for. That means we have an extra 39. Yes, sir. I said, well, what are you saying? We just don't know where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf.
You don't know where it came from?
Sir, that tariff doesn't start until September. I said, no.
Oh, I remember this whole ordeal. I thought he was talking about just now, like current times. No, he's telling a story about, I remember when we actually reported that.
It started about a month and a half ago. Check it. Comes back 25 minutes later. Sir, you were right. It came from tariffs. This never happened to us before, where we find plus 39 billion, not million, plus 39 billion. They were missing. We've taken in $650 billion. Or
Papa D coming in with the $5, by the way, saying the whole story thing with President Trump is to help American people feel like he's a regular person with a life, feelings, and emotions, etc. Yes, sir, I do agree with that. Being more relatable, personable, stuff like that. Of course, that is it works. So very much appreciate the $5. Made the shit rain in the building, my man.
Shortcoming, and that's because I'm being nice. If I want to be, and we have national security because of tariffs. And frankly, we have a big Supreme Court case. I hope they do what's good for our country. I hope they do the right thing. The president has to be able to wheel and deal with tariffs. And now, if you have the right president, it's good. You have the wrong president, if you have the wrong president, nothing's good. Tariffs are the least of your problems. We found that out for 4 years. We had the worst president, did the worst job, they had the worst policy. We have to even run against these people. Now, I won't say cancel the election. They should cancel the election because the fake news will say, he wants the elections canceled. He's a dictator. They always call me a dictator. Nobody's worse than Obama and the people that surrounded Biden. Not Biden. I don't think it was Biden. He didn't know what the hell was going on, okay? The election was rigged. He had no idea what happened. He still doesn't. The auto pen. And by the way, you ought to make a big deal out of the auto pen. The auto pen was your president. Because most of the things were signed by AutoPen. And you're not allowed to do that. I signed very little. Now I just sign everything because it's just so crazy. But, like I had the other day, we elevated a general to 4 stars. I think you should sign that. That's a big deal. A general did a great job, was elevated to 4 stars. And I had the general, and I signed it in front of him, held it up. You got to sign that. You can't give it to an AutoPen. And you can always tell an AutoPen. One thing, it has 2 little tiny dots. You know that? 2 little dots. You know what that's from? 2 pins. They go bing, bing. They're wonderful things, but you got to sign it. And the law is you have to sign it. If somebody's, telling the AutoPen person, he has to be authorized by the president of the United States. Well, he wasn't. The guy barely knew the president. How many times did you speak to the president, right? He said 2. And they just spoke about the weather. It was like this. But he was never authorized to sign. And I think 95% of the things were signed by AutoPen. You can tell because the AutoPen is a nice, clean signature, and his signature is a mess. The only thing he signed was, which is nice, was Hunter's pardon. That's the only thing that we could find that he signed. Most of it he didn't sign. So somebody's sending papers to sign. And
what's up, Liquored Up with Poncho? My man, good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat on this Topless Taco Tuesday. Morning.
He wasn't the president. First of all, the election was rigged. You ought to have voter ID. You ought to insist on it. Can you imagine? In California, they not only don't have voter ID, but if an official at the voting booths, which they don't have, by the way, because it's all mail, if an official, a voting official, even asks somebody for voter ID, sir, would like to see your identification. Do you come from our country? They put him in jail for tampering with the election. Okay? We got to straighten this out before it gets too crazy. California is more corrupt.
It was cool. Obviously, I moved here a little more than a year and a half ago, to northern Alabama from California. I lived there for 29 years. And nonetheless, when I came here and we voted in this last election, I was here, obviously. And it was cool. It was the first time I'd ever gotten ID'd to vote, which was awesome. I was like, fuck, I'm glad that you asked.
Than any place. California is more corrupt than Minnesota. And I won Minnesota Well, Tom's going, I think so. Well, it's close. It can't be proportionately, probably nothing's more corrupt, right? Yeah, right. He says you got to win. I'll tell you what, I did great there 3 times. I was surprised 3 times. Those elections are corrupt. They got you one time too, but I heard a long time ago, but they got you. But they got to straighten those out. But we have to have voter ID. And you know, when you confront a Democrat about voter ID, like in a debate or something, I said it a couple of times with Biden, and just one, they're very embarrassed when they say, we want voter ID, voter identification. The only reason somebody doesn't want that is because they want to cheat. Our elections are crooked as hell. And you can not only win elections over that, and not only win future elections, but you'll win every debate because the public is really angry about it. And you ought to pass the SAFE Act, or whatever you're going to call it. Are we going to SAVE Act or the Save America Act? I think we're going to change the name a little bit. You're going to put that up for a vote? I think everybody in this room certainly should do it. And it's a bad vote for them because they're voting against things like voter ID and other things that are almost equal to voter ID. But when somebody says, no, we don't want voter ID, that means they're crooked. And the public understands it. You win elections with that. But I think it would be really important, Save America Act, if you would put that up for a vote. It's got my total endorsement. And all it is common sense things about the election. And they'll fight it like crazy because they cheat. That's the only way they can win. When you have policy so bad, when you have policy with men and women's sports, and they fight like hell for it. They still are. I saw the other day, a person that you know very well, a congressman, was fighting like hell. And, you know, I was out the other day with somebody, and I was with an ex-football player. The guy was massive. His leg was like this. And a young woman who plays flag football. And she's very good, supposedly, as an athlete. She's smaller than this guy's leg. Okay? And if they were playing football together, he wouldn't even have to run. He could just keep walking. They couldn't take him down. You know, he can't even believe it. But there's so many. They had a race, a long-distance race. They had champion men, women, you know, one of those marathon deals. The man finished 5 hours and 14 minutes and 36 seconds sooner. He beat the champion woman by 5 hours. It's so demeaning to women. It's so ridiculous, right? It's so ridiculous. The weightlifting, take a look at the weightlifting records.
And we all agreed on that. Like, most Americans did agree on that. And that was an issue that, to me, now it's pretty much solved. I mean, it pretty much is back to normal in that kind of aspect. There's 2 genders. That was a win for Americans.
One record stood for 18 years, and it was broken by 112 pounds. They couldn't get 1/8 of an ounce, you know? They'd put an 1/8 of an ounce on. Then she's going to break the record for her mom, who's sitting in the front with her father. I'm going to break it. And she's out there. We're adding 1/8 of an ounce to each side. This record has stood, ladies and gentlemen, for 18 years. But she's going to do it. She's looking to get into the Olympics, right? And she gets up, and they put a little tiny thing like this, little tiny. And my wife, by the way, my wife hates when I do this. She said, you know, she's a very classy person, right? She said, it's so unpresidential. I said, but I did become president.
He says, shit.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is enough of the retreat for me. All right, there's not like newsworthy, like crazy shit other than what he's just talking about and, you know, leading up to where he's at now. So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Make sure you guys stick around. We're going to be rating our buddy Sick Bastard. And make sure you guys let him know we're coming through with the Mike Ball / Insane Wheels raid, whatever you guys want to call it. Anyways, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Hopefully, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. Until then, God bless everyone. We'll see you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning.